Tell me about how you guys help franchisees gain clients.
Yeah, we have what we call an account-based marketing program. That's kind of at the crux of our strategy and unique to Keyrenter, where before a new franchisee opens up, we have a list of all of the property owners, the rental property owners in their market, and we're able to delineate down to the ones that could be a good fit for them, so that we can then start prospecting. They can start prospecting to the owners that own maybe 7, 8 or more properties. We can also start dripping content in front of them on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, different areas, because the number one issue we have as an industry is awareness. It's amazing how many property owners, rental owners, don't even know that we exist. And number two is perception. People that maybe have tried using a company or a real estate agent doing it on the side and didn't have a good experience, and so they think that they can do it better themselves. And what's amazing, Frank, is there's about 85 million single family homes in the country. 24 million of those are rentals. 91% of those rentals are owned by individuals, people like you and me, LLCs. Only 4% of the nation's single family rentals are owned by REITs, large corporations, syndications, that sort of thing. So there's a big group of these rentals. 79% of those are managed by the owner, which is amazing that, in our country and in Australia, it's actually the opposite. It's flipped. Australia definitely values much more of the professional manager doing their job, alleviating the burden. But in our country, it's just a matter of time for these owners that are self-managing to say, you know what, I'm kind of done. I want to hire this out now. Or they had a bad experience. And that's what we call a big blue ocean of opportunity. So from a marketing standpoint, we want to be in front of these people 10, 12, 15 different times. So when they do have that first experience, they say, you know what? Or maybe there's a law that was changed,
Mm-hmm.
right? Legislation. They're just not up to date on things and aware of how they could get themselves into trouble because they're just not. I mean, these are dentists, these are other professionals that are doing this on the side, right?
Right.
So when that first experience comes or they get tired, we want Keyrenter to pop into their head.
Mm.
We want to have already established a little bit of trust, relationship. Maybe there's some education-based videos and programs that they've already been able to see and learn from before they make a decision of hiring us.
Nate, what would you say is one of the most common misperception when a potential franchisee calls about the model itself?
That's a good question. I think probably the most common one is that when they're thinking about a franchise, they might be thinking in their head, what is a franchise? Well, McDonald's is a franchise,
Mm.
Subway is a franchise. And they might be thinking, okay, Keyrenter is going to just tell me where to stand and tell me which button to push, and then the business will operate itself. And in property management, especially when we're dealing with housing, there's nuances in every state, oftentimes in every county, sometimes city levels that are different. And it's up to the franchise owner to be plugged in, to be learning and understanding some of those nuances and some of the changes that are happening. And it's important for them to be able to apply the processes, the training, but they've got to be able to think about it. They've got to be able to use judgment. Relationship-based businesses like this, service-based business, requires much more thinking than, say, a McDonald's. And I'm not saying that McDonald's doesn't require that. I'm just saying that they need to come in understanding it's going to be work. It's going to require for them to be on their toes, be thinking about how to handle conflict and situations a little bit differently, and be able to scale through leadership and management. And it's just a very different business model than what oftentimes I think people think about in a franchise.
Sure.
Come in, push the button, at the end of the day, push the off button, and you're done.
Right. Well, you're not pushing the button of the hamburger, and that's not how it works. There's definitely a sense of you have to be able to have a franchise owner that can make the right call, that has good judgment. And right, in addition to the systems and processes, there's just situations that come up when you're in property management and dealing with the clients. What's been your biggest surprise since franchising here now in the last, 9 years, right?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I wasn't expecting, when we were thinking about going nationwide, we understood that, okay, this is going to be really cool to have our brand in other states, and the income potential is there for us to scale and grow through franchising and everything like that. But one thing that has really resonated strongly with me is the impact that we can have on the lives of the people that are buying a Keyrenter business. And when we're franchising and we bring in a new partner, we literally have the opportunity to change someone's life for the better. And not just one person, but the many people that are involved in that business, whether that's their family, the team members, property owners, residents. And I think the impact that we have on people's lives, and the text messages that I get from time to time from franchise owners where they're saying, man, I'm so grateful that I got into this business. Thank you for allowing this to happen. And I write them back and said, man, this is all you. This is all you and your hard work that made this happen. Yes, we provided maybe the vehicle, but you're driving that car and doing such a great job. And I think the fulfillment that I've gotten, and I know that Aaron would agree with me, that the fulfillment through the ability to change people's lives, I was not expecting that. And it's powerful. It's powerful. And at the same side, on the opposite side of the coin, it adds to the sense of responsibility that we have of seeing that they're winning, seeing that they're doing well. Because I do get those texts from time to time too. It's like, man, why did you let me into this business? This is harder than I thought. Or, man, I'm having such a rough day. How can I? And that just happens in life and business and everything. But impact, I would say, that ability is something that was surprising to me. Right. I knew it would be there, but you just don't know what it's like until you're there.
I thought I was just starting some, fun sports league because I like sports. And then you get people that you meet up with, years later and like, oh my gosh, you have no idea how my life changed. And you're blown away. You're not prepared for that. What a surprise beyond something you ever dream of.
Well, we just had the opportunity a couple of weeks ago. One of our kind of unique differentiators and I think strategic advantages is that we hire a lot of people out of Mexico to do some of our back-end administrative work, both on their corporate team and throughout our franchise network, franchise partners and their team members. Some of them are out of Mexico, and just amazing people that oftentimes they grew up here in the States, and for whatever reason, they're back in Mexico, and they're just incredible people. And we have some in some other South American countries as well, and other places, and we've been doing that ever since really we started the business. But we had the chance a couple of weeks ago. We had our second annual, we call it a KitCon, Keyrenter International Team Member Conference. And myself, my wife, and a couple of people from our corporate team, and Andrea Marshall, my partner, and we go down. There was probably 5 or 6 franchise partners that were there, but it was a conference for these team members that are used to, for most of their lives, working in call centers where they're just treated like garbage, and they're a number. And we're there, we're spending time with them. We're doing training and coaching and giving hugs and kudos and just awards and celebration and dinners, and just an amazing experience for people. And you see directly, in fact, one of our franchise owners came to me the last day and just said, Nate, I had no idea how impactful it'd be for me to come down, meet with my team members, take them to lunch, spend some time with them. And he just knew that the return on that sort of investment will be 10, 20, 30 times. And just with the buy-in and the team members feeling like they're more part of a bigger system and a bigger thing. It's just pretty amazing to have those opportunities to really impact people.
Nate, and you've also been recognized. I can't fail to mention that you guys were already on the Inc. 5000, one of the fastest growing private companies in America. That must have felt absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's great. We got a thing hanging on our wall. It's something that we're proud of. But at the same time, it's like, hey, we got that. What's next?
Exactly. Yes, I agree with you. You get the recognition. It's like, put the trophy up. You look at it once in a while, but we don't hang our hat on it moving forward, right?
Well, and I think, what does this mean for our franchisees, right?
Right.
I think it's important, but let's make sure that our focus is on them and their success. And I'm more proud of, to be honest with you, Frank, I'm more proud of the awards that they have gotten in their local markets. In fact, one of our locations in Denver, was awarded recently Best Place to Work.
Wow.
And isn't it amazing? I mean, having a culture, having a group that's so impactful in their local area that they're voted Best Place to Work. We had the same thing in Boise.
Mm-hmm.
They were awarded Best of State, for their business. What an amazing opportunity for them to be recognized. I love that kind of stuff because that means, okay, there's good happening in our system, in our network, and it's not just at the corporate level. It's all across the board, and that's what makes me really proud.
What's your vision for this company now? And, there's probably parts of the vision yet that haven't been seen through that, you and Aaron had talked about. I'm kind of curious on what's next for you guys and how big is the vision?
Yeah. So we're at 63 locations right now. The end of 2026, we want to be at 120. Beyond that, of course we want to grow beyond that. I just don't have numbers and all that sort of stuff down, but we want to start moving into some other countries, generally English speaking to start out with. Canada is an easy one for us, but there's so much opportunity here in the US that our focus is here for now. And, we want our franchisees to be winning in their business first and foremost. And so as we're bringing on new franchise partners, I want to see that our growth in number of units is growing at a healthy rate,
Sure.
but our growth of the revenue, system-wide and network revenue, as well as individual average and median revenue is also growing at that 30, 35, 40% rate that we've been getting for the last 5-6 years, year over year. And so as long as we're doing those sort of things, we're on a good trajectory. I'm very happy with that. I'm very proud of the people involved that are making that happen.
What advice do you give to people who are considering joining your brand?
I think coming to us with an open mind, an open heart, really exploring where you want to be in your life first, creating that life plan is important. I think in any business venture, we need to have a life plan before we have a business plan, because if we have the life plan and the business lines up and resonates really strongly with that life plan, then it can be a good fit. And then, we love to spend time with candidates and really get to know them get to know us. And oftentimes the decision to join the franchise is more based on, yes, the tools are great, the training's great, all those things of supporting them, but who are my partners? I mean, this is a long-term commitment. Who am I working with? Who's supporting me? Who are the people involved? And so being prepared to kind of shed a little bit of some of the guys sometimes that comes through business conversations and be able to get a little bit more vulnerable about what truly are we looking for here, and is it really a fit for my life? That's my biggest piece of advice for people.
Cool. I get this question often from folks that are starting out. And so I'm curious, how did you guys get or find your first dozen or so franchisees?
Well, it's funny. We were told in the very beginning, we were talking to several different franchise concepts and founders, and some of them would say, well, your first sales will be friends, family, or fools. And we didn't sell to any friends. We didn't sell to any family. We didn't sell to any friends that we knew beforehand. We consider them friends after, of course, and as we got to know them. And we absolutely did not sell to any fools. So we kind of broke that model. And I don't know, I think we had really good success with just building trust with people. And we were very upfront with people. In fact, our Denver franchise and Chicago North franchise, they were in our very first training week. And as I talked to them about it, and Austin was very early too, and I talked to them about it, and they say, you know what, we just really liked you and Aaron. And we knew that we were the first ones. We knew we were getting the guinea pigs. We knew that we were what we were getting into. And we didn't try to oversell them that we had everything figured out. In fact, we came to them early on and said, hey, we can't wait to partner with you because we believe that you can help shape the future of this system, of this franchise. You can help us improve upon what's already good, making it great, and continuing to iterate. And I believe that's been part of our success, is just being willing to recognize that we are not the smartest people in the system. In fact, some of the best ideas that we've implemented have come from our franchise partners and even their team members. And that's transformed the way that we've been able to do business.
Nate, I think you were able to award a bunch of franchises based on your authenticity, People pick up on that. You're the real deal. And I feel like you're the kind of person that you do the right thing. That's one of the biggest challenges we have as a franchisor, right? Is it's easy to do what's popular, but doing what's right can be challenging. And I think that has been a big part of your success. And I'm sure Aaron was the same way. Do you have maybe a memorable piece of advice or something that Aaron said back in the day that sticks with you to today?
Oh, very quickly it comes to mind. He always told me, he always told our franchise partners, everyone that he could talk to about have a vacation on your calendar at all times. And I love that. And I didn't live it as well up until maybe he passed. And then after he passed, I'm like, man, I need to do better with that. So now my wife and I, we always have a vacation planned on the calendar in the future. And before we leave for that one, we have the next one on the calendar. And that's something that he was really good at, and creating those memories. And so we've been really pushing that to our franchise owners as well, and to our team members. We want them to have life building and memorable, positive experiences with their loved ones, and being able to step away from business is really important. And I've had team members say, hey, well, I'm on vacation, I'll make sure I'm checking my email so nothing. I'm like, if you do that, consider that your resignation. Because life is too short, and there's always going to be things that they come back to. So that's what comes to mind, Frank.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.